Hi, it's Steph from Happy Place to Grow, and I am here at school. It is week 3 for us. We are on a hybrid model where our students are coming. Group A comes Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday is a chance to clean and to plan, and then on Thursday, Friday, our Group B students come. So I wanted to share with you how that is going. So week 1 started, and it was getting off to a really good start. I was able to come to school Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday, my husband woke up and was not feeling well. So we went to the urgent care, and he got a COVID test, and of course, he got the rapid test, so right away the results were positive. And this was totally unexpected because I knew if he was positive that I needed to get tested, which I did. And of course I had to wait on my results because I wasn't feeling sick. I wasn't symptomatic. So they wouldn't give me the rapid test, but it didn't matter because I was going to be quarantined anyhow for 14 days. School was just starting. And of all the things in the whole county, I was the first. Who could imagine? But I had to wait a couple of days, and my test actually came back negative. But in the meantime, my students were here, and I was at home, and I wasn't really prepared all the way for Group B. I had a few things gathered together, but I thought, you know, Wednesday was our planning day, so I was going to come in, get ready for Group B, and that just didn't happen. And I had never even met my Group B, and they were going to have a sub. So the worst case scenario, you know, really hit me the first week of school. I had to wait several days, and my test came back negative, as I said, and I thought, well, that's good. At least my students weren't exposed. That was good. However, if you're living with someone who has COVID, it's likely that you're going to get it, and thus the quarantine of 14 days is really helpful because I did end up getting sick. I started with, you know, kind of a nasal, but I was for sure 100% or at least 99.9% sure that I had it when I lost my sense of smell. You can't even imagine a fragrance-free life. It is just totally weird. So I spent that 14 days away from my class, and I was really worried, of course, about how they were going to be working through the first couple weeks of school without their teacher. And I hadn't really had time to prepare. Couldn't really come back to the school and get things even together to help them go forward. So I had to get a lot of things on TPT and then digitally submit it to my TA, who was wonderful. She printed a lot of things. So I'm so thankful for TPT because I could just send things to her and she could get them ready for the students. So I wanted to encourage you, if you're in a situation like me where you're at school part-time, and then your students are working at home some of the time, to be prepared, because you know it could happen where you're not only might you be out for COVID-19, maybe a family member or you, but it could just be another sickness. So I am working diligently now on my sub binder, which I actually started this last year in March when things started to happen with people getting sick with COVID. I thought, you know, I really need to get prepared. I need to have all my emergency information. I need to have plans. I need to have my schedule and how I manage things. And I need to have a list of my students with their pictures. And so I started that last year, and I had really good intentions this summer of really updating things. And of course I didn't, and I wasn't prepared all the way. So I'm back at school. I'm very thankful to be back. I had a really mild case, and everything with my family members worked out. Everyone's getting better. I do have that gift of smell back. I am so thankful, again, with the fragrance free. It's not a beautiful world when you can't smell. It is really weird. So I do want to encourage you to prepare for when you're out. And this idea of a substitute binder came from Pocketful of Primary. And I just looked at her materials and I thought, you know, I can really adapt that to what I need to do for me. And so I just started creating my own. So I do encourage you to be prepared. Let me share with you some things that I am working through now. I'm back. I've been back for last Thursday, Friday. I was back with my group B, and it was just the first time I was able to be with them. So it was like the first day of school. However, it went really well. And today I was back with group A, which I was with them for 2 days. So one thing that I've really been working on is my work folders. So when the students aren't with me, I am preparing for them an agenda. And this is what my little agenda looks like. And it says day 1, day 2, and day 3. And the reason I did it like day 1, day 2, day 3, because group A, their day 1 is Wednesday, and their day 2 is Thursday and Friday. But then the B group, their first day of working at home is Monday. So I didn't want to have 2 separate agendas, one that said Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and one that said Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, because on day 1, everybody's doing this. And right now I'm just working through a reading assignment, and then I've added in a comprehension skill. They're working in these little writer's notebooks. I had some extras that they are using at home. They have a writing job and a math job, and eventually I'm going to be adding, and sometimes I squeeze in some social studies, and then they will also be working on their iReady computer program. So that was added in this week, and they'll have their card that will go home. So that's what the kids are doing in their work folders. And each week they just bring all their stuff back in. We clear it out. I check it. And then I send some feedback home to family members. So the work folders are working out really well. Everybody's bringing them back and forth. I think I only have one student that hasn't brought all his things back and forth. So that's worked out really, really well. I did want to show you my amplifier because I think I mentioned this in my last vlog. It took a really long time to get this. However, it was fine because I wasn't at school and I couldn't even use it. I did get an email from Amazon saying it was on back order. I haven't used it yet with the students because, funny thing, I've been charging this for about 3 days and it wouldn't hold a charge. And I was like, oh my gosh, I paid about $50 for this and I'm gonna have to send it back. 40 or 50, I can't even remember. And so I was kind of fiddling with things, and I took the battery out because it has its own battery. You don't have to put, I thought maybe you would have to put like double A's in there. But it has a battery. So I just happened to take it out and I realized that this was on the end of the battery. Hello. And I thought, well, no wonder, duh. No wonder it wouldn't hold a charge because that piece of plastic was on there protecting the battery. So I just tested it out and it worked really well. So I think you just put it on like this. And then this is kind of stretchy. So I think it's going to be a lot to navigate, but I think I will get better in time. I think this goes behind, and then this can go. And this is a lot of garb, but I think it will save my voice. And I'll just have to really play with it and adjust it. And I'll just have to get all geared up. It's like I'm working at the telephone company or something. Okay. And then there is a necklace that you can hang this from, this little amplifier. Let's test it out. Hello. So if you're reading a story or you want to talk to your kids, and I think I find with my mask, I'm having to project my voice, and then I'm sucking air in, I'm pushing it out, and it's really, it can be challenging. So I think this amplifier, I'm going to play with it a little bit, practice with it, but I think it's going to be a good thing. So I'll keep you posted on when I use it with the students. Now that the battery is actually charged. Anyway, I love technology. So since I've been back, I really fervently, well, actually before I left, I had my TA assess the students on their alphabet knowledge. Could they read the cards, uppercase and lowercase? Could they write the letters? And then we went through numbers 0 through 25. And I gathered a lot of information about what my students know and don't know. And I was able to, even when I was at home in quarantine, I was able to look through their test information, and then I made small groups. I definitely got group A done, and then once I got group B's information, so that was actually thankfully done for me by a coworker who just came in so wonderfully and just pulled the kids and did those little assessments, because my TA is not with me on group B days. So a staff member came in and just got all of those assessments done with group B. And I was able, again, to look at the information and then take that information and start making small groups. Now, what else I'm doing to decide, especially with reading, is I've been pulling my students and doing running records. We happen to have a collection of books before we were doing our running records on a device. We actually had the paper and pencil, and we had all the collection of books. And whenever we changed our assessment tool and we lost that digital platform, I still had my books and my paper and pencil. So I am pulling my students, and I am discovering what they know with reading. Are they tracking print? Do they have their sight words? Are they able to use picture clues? What do they have as a strategy or strategies, or what don't they have? What's missing? And I'm thinking about now, again, fine-tuning all of my my groups. And so when I finish these running records, I will be able to really start small group. And I feel frustrated because I'm like 2 weeks behind, 14 days behind. So I've missed 2 sessions of time with my B group and 2 sessions with my A group. So I feel like I'm a day late and a dollar short, but I'm working really hard to get caught up. So that's what's been happening here with me. Again, I encourage you to, if you are, whatever way you're teaching, just be prepared, have a plan, have a backup plan in case you're in a similar situation. Again, I never thought that it would happen to me, and I never thought for sure that it would happen the first week of school. However, I'm feeling much better, and I'm thankful for the gift of life. I'm thankful for recovering, and I'm thankful to be back with my students and doing what I love to do. So I will keep you posted on what's going on. I will have some meetings tomorrow, and then I will meet with Group B. I will let you know some things that are going on. I'm going to update you on my trays, how that's working out, and I'm going to also in my next little video show you my students' work folders and how they work, how they're working independently. As they finish an assignment, they put it on the yes side, If they're not finished and time's run out, they put it on the no side. So I will share with you some activities that I'm doing in my classroom, and I'm going to test this amplifier out, and I will keep you posted how that goes, and hopefully it's going to save my voice, and it's going to help me from that trying to project out of a mask, and it's hard to read clearly or talk clearly sometimes. So, all right, until next time, as always, have a good one. Hey, I'm here at school. I am in the middle of week 4, and I'm working this week on Thursday, Friday with my B group. So I just wanted to check in with you. I wanted to share with you a few things that I have been working on to try to make this plan where we have students on Monday, Tuesday, and then different students on Thursday, Friday. So this is a really different way to conduct a classroom. So a few things that I am learning along the way. If your school is virtual right now, you may go to this kind of a model to phase into in-class instruction as we have. So one thing I have discovered that I really have to do to keep everything, all my ducks in a row, is I have to make sure that I have everything organized and labeled. So before school started, I bought some new tubs, thankfully, and so while I was out sick, I had my materials in these tubs, but I didn't have them really labeled. I did have them labeled in the front, but since I've been back, I thought, you know, I really need to create a large label. So if I'm ever out again, I can just direct the sub or direct my assistant, you know, go up front, look for the blue tub titled Social Studies. So I went ahead and I just labeled this Social Studies. It may also contain health or science. And then, of course, this unique learning platform that we're doing, I had to label my materials, my folders in here. I had to organize them by putting the day of the week, Social Studies, and then this is for B group. So these are my materials that I'm housing. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a Thursday and Friday folder, and then a Monday, Tuesday for my group A. And that way, for me, as well as anyone else that would come into my classroom and have to be looking for materials, if I have my materials housed in a folder and the folder is labeled, this is for Thursday, Group B, or Friday, Group B, they can just pull it out and they have it. And I can too, because I had just a large amount of materials in here. And you know, when A group comes, that's Monday, Tuesday, and then we have a break in between. Wednesday's a cleaning day and meeting day. And then when B group comes, sometimes it's hard to remember what did I work with when I had B group, because I'm not going to see them again for 5 days when they leave me. So it's hard to remember. So this is keeping me organized. I did a tub and folders for Social Studies, for whole group reading, for writing, and for math. And I am going to also create one for our phonics program, which is called Letterland. So that's keeping me straight. Again, these unique times that we're living in and we're teaching in require us to do things just a little bit differently. And I am just navigating it as I go along. You know, I'm just trying things out, and if it works, if not, I'm going to go to plan B. Now, here are some materials that saved me because when I was sick and I couldn't get to school, I was able to send my TA materials, and she printed them, and then they could go home for homework, and they could also be used by the sub. So I had been working on some whole group reading. Right now I'm still assessing my students, so we haven't started our small groups yet. And one book, big book I like to start off with at the beginning of the year is I Know an Old Lady Who Swallowed a Fly. This is always a fun one, and you can do a lot here with sequencing of events. You know, what did she swallow first? And so I have this little lady and her large belly area, and I had a lot of materials already ready to go for that story. And when I couldn't get back to school and I was trying to think of materials to send so that my students could also be doing their homework on those 3 remote days, I found this a really cool pack. There was an old lady who swallowed a fly, and this was a lifesaver. I'm not even sure. I will get the information and put it in the description box whose material this is, but it was just wonderful, and it contains colored pictures as well as black and whites. There's a little mini book. There's the characters that can be sequenced, and there is a roll and cover game, which I thought was really cute. There's also sentence parts, and so all that's included. So I was able to send, I didn't send all these materials, but I sent some of them, especially the little mini book, so that my students could read that. We'd already read the story together, so this was a supplement, and it went right along with what we were doing in class. So that was a lifesaver. I will put that information for you if you are interested. I also like to read the story Little Red Riding Hood. I like this one just because it's, you know, a traditional fairy tale. You can get really animated when you're reading it. I try to sound like the wolf, and it has such a good little pattern, you know, with her name over and over again. So we had been reading this, and I have a lot of materials, but I couldn't get here to, I did have some of them already out and ready to go, but I couldn't get here to get more of them out. So I've been trying to send in my homework packets for my students some reading materials. You know, we haven't done all the assessments yet, so I don't know where everyone's reading, so I can't individualize that yet, but I still want them to have something in their hands that they can read. And I found this little mini Little Red Riding Hood mini book, and there was one in color, and then there was the black and white. And again, I sent this to my TA, and she was able to print it off. And there's a word bank in there, and they can color it. And so that was just a little addition to supplement what we had been doing in class, and then they could take it home and read it. And I, as part of my homework, did some comprehension questions with that. So that was so helpful. Again, you know, if you're in a similar situation, you know, that call upon the platform TPT, because it will help you. Something I found too that was an easy little filler, again, for a sub, and it was the beginning of, I was able to come to school on the very first 2 days, and then I was out for 14 days. So something that I found that I thought would be easy for a sub and easy for the students and a good practice was this little alphabet skill, and it has all the alphabet letters, and they have to practice writing them, and then they have to circle something that starts with that letter, and then they trace the words that start with that letter, and they've got, you know, A through Z. So again, this was another little supplement that I was able to send remotely to my TA, and the sub used it, and then I sent these pages, some extra pages home for the students to use in with their families for remote learning. And this, it looks like this is the colorful and interactive book, and I think the name of this creator of this is Color Me Organized. Yeah, that's what it is. Color Me Organized. So again, we don't ever plan to be out, and I know as teachers we try not to be, because the sub plans are crazy trying to plan for a sub. But in these times, we never know, and of course I wasn't expecting that. I shared that with you earlier. One more thing I'm going to share with you before I close up. Today, of course, it's raining here in North Carolina. We couldn't go outside. So today, I allowed my students to just stretch out on the floor by their desk. I had asked them earlier to bring a towel to have here at school if we had to sit on the floor. And while they were at PE, I had been working and thinking about and planning these boxes. I call them busy boxes. And I had been thinking that I wanted to create some busy boxes. And so today I had a collection of just different things. Some stamps and stamp pads and paper. I had some that had puzzles, and one little student was doing a puzzle, and they had never done a puzzle. So, and it was a giant, I've got the pieces right here. It's a giant floor puzzle, and that one couldn't fit in a box. And then some Boggle spelling and pattern blocks I put in there, and I had some Lego sets. And I only have 8 students on my B days, so it worked out really well. They sat on the floor, they just stretched out, they played quietly. They were able to see what their friends were doing, even though they couldn't really interact with them. They could still feel like they were enjoying time together, a little free time since we couldn't go outside. So I just thought I'd share with you a few things that I have been working on, and some things that are helping me to stay organized in this very different time of teaching. So this will be the end of my 4th week, although it's really only my 2nd week since I was out for 2 weeks. But it's going pretty well. My B students really focused today, and they really did their best. And by the way, before I close up, excuse me, my amplifier, I did use it today. And here's the cool thing. I was worried about all the garb, you know, because I always have my glasses on my head, and you've got your mask, and you've got this microphone under the mask. However, today I discovered that you can put the little, let me just get that little headset. I was so excited about this. So today, I just thought, let me try this. So I turned it on, and I actually had my mask on and had the amplifier, I had the microphone in front of my mask instead of behind it, and it worked like a charm. I could hear my voice was clear, even though the mask was in front of my lips. You know, it was fine. And that way I can take it on and off without having to take my mask on and off. So it worked great. My principal came in and she was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. She was really excited about the amplifier, and it really projected my voice, and the kids, it got their attention. So if you, and I may even use this when we go back to normal. It's just such a voice saver, and the kids kind of think it's cool, it's different, it's neat. So this was a good purchase. So if you get a chance, check out an amplifier. I got this one at Amazon. All right, well, I'm going to close up this week's vlogging, and hopefully next week I will have some new things and get a chance to check in with you and let you know how things are going. I hope that your year is going well, whether you're virtual or you're all virtual or halfway like us. Hopefully things are working out and you're working out all of the new challenges. So, all right, until next week, as always, have a good one.